should I sell this? This is a question I get asked all the time when it comes to getting organized. And selling items is tricky because a lot of times what we have to weigh out is the time that it would take for you to list the item, measure the item, photograph the item, drive it somewhere, show it to someone else. Is it worth the time that you would have to spend on it to make what you would make from it? And a lot of times the answer is no. But sometimes the answer is a resounding yes. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my resounding yeses when it comes to selling things. Now, the first thing that you want to ask yourself when you are organizing and paring down, you want to ask yourself, do I need more time in my life or more money in my life? Because, for example, listing books for $0.25 a piece and selling them at a local yard sale may not feel like the right action if you have 2 extra hours a week and you are being pulled in 20 directions and you are stressed out and overwhelmed and there's too much going on. That may not be the right choice for you. But if you have a bit more time and you would like or need more money, then absolutely doing a yard sale could be the best thing that you could do because it's going to yield you the money that you need. So you want to ask yourself, is it time or money that I need more? And kind of start to make your decisions based on that. And also, does it feel good to you? For some people, selling things feels so inspiring and good. It's like, I want to know that my stuff is valuable. And if someone else pays for it, I feel like I am being given that affirmation that my stuff is valuable. And that can feel really good, especially because sometimes we need a little carrot to make us want to get rid of stuff, don't we? Like, it can feel good to donate them. Sometimes people just say, oh, I want to know it's going to go to someone who's really going to use it. So you might use like a Facebook free cycle group where you know it's going to a family who really needs it rather than a major donation hub that you don't know where that stuff is going to go. You don't know who it's benefiting. So just knowing that might be powerful and helpful to you. But sometimes we do need a carrot to say, I need a little excitement or something that makes me want to get rid of things. And selling that can be it for you. So always know that that is a choice for you. I always look at this also like a shark. So one of the reasons I talk about this a lot with productivity specifically, but it really fits with selling stuff too. So when it comes to our activities, right, I always say be a shark because sharks often bite humans, not often. They don't often bite humans, but when sharks bite humans, right, they generally don't eat us because they have little sensors in their teeth that tell them if what they bit is worth the energy it would take to eat it. And they'll bite a human and be like, that bony thing? Not today. They're looking for a seal. They're looking for something else that's like a little bit more bang for their buck. And we're not that. So I want you to think about being a shark when it comes to this stuff. Like when you're like, okay, is this worth my energy? Is this worth my time? And I'm going to tell you about a time where selling things are worth your time. So for me, and I'll give you this example in my life, it's my plant babies. So I love plants. If you ever see me in my home environment, I'm always going to have green things around me. It's one of my high values. It makes me so happy. They're my babies. But when I move, I do like to sell them. And I do that because plants can be challenging to move. They get damaged a lot of times. The climate is different that I'm moving to, or I just might want a lighter move. So when I move, I oftentimes sell my plants. And I sell them versus donate them because there have been times when I will gift someone a plant and I'm like, okay, look, when it comes to gifts as an organizer, seeing all the sides of gifts and the things that people get but don't want, I'm very leery of giving gifts because of that. But I have sometimes given people plants and then gone to their house and seen these poor plants struggling later and then realized I was like, oh my gosh, they might not have been a plant person. Like, when you give someone something that is not in their wheelhouse, that can become sometimes wonderful because it stretches and grows and they might really love that. But it might also be a burden. So I have to acknowledge that sometimes when I've given people plants, I have given them a burden. I have now given them a living thing that they feel compelled to take care of and make sure stays alive. And that's complicated. It's complicated to keep some plants alive for plant people. So it can be really challenging if you're not a plant person. So knowing that sometimes gifting plants to people doesn't work out so great because they might not want them. or need them. And it doesn't really make you feel like the person really wants them. Like some of these plants were dying because they didn't really have the same value for plants that I do. So selling items can be one of the best things that you can do for yourself when it comes to making sure that the items that you value go to homes that share that value. So when I sell an item, like when I sell a plant, I am saying I find this to be valuable and I'm going to hand it off to a steward, a person, a human who's going to value this as well because they're going to give me money, right? We are doing a trade. I am saying this is valuable and they're saying I agree with the value that you are putting on that. I will pay you for that and then take it over. And why this is important when it comes to organizing and selling and purging and moving and all of that stuff is because there are certain items that we value above all else. There are certain things that we want to know they're going to go to the right home. And a lot of people hold on to things with all their might because they do not perceive that it's going to go to a good home. And the idea of donating it is scary because they might think if I donate my grandma's old dresser set, they're probably going to throw it away because it's a little bit broken. And I don't think that I could sell it, so I'm not sure what I can do about it, so I'll just hold on to it forever. And so this is what we do a lot of times because we think we need to be the stewards forever because I'm going to take care of it. I need to know it's going to go to the right place. I need to know it's going to be with the right person. And yes, I understand that, but also you get to release those things from your life. And sometimes selling things or taking the time to find the right home can be the right thing to do because you're saying, I am selling this and I value this and I want it to go to someone who also values it. So a great example is I had these two big, beautiful turquoise pots that were filled with dying peace lilies. They weren't dying. They just weren't thriving. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know. But they were never really doing well here at the house. And I tried a lot of things, but it wasn't working. So what I did is I listed them for like $30. So I said $30 for the pot. The plants are free. Right? Normally I would list it for more. So I listed it for a price and I said, this is the price for the pot and the plant comes for free. It was like a much lower price than I would have charged if I was selling like a bigger plant. And I was really clear, the plants have been struggling at my house and I'm hoping that they might do better at yours. And so people who came for them knew that they were getting a plant who needed a little extra love. They needed a plant that might need a little support. And so I wasn't like, doing a bait and switch. I wasn't like, get this beautiful, thriving plant, and then giving them like a plant that was wilted and struggling. I really was clear, okay, I'm charging because this pot is valuable, but I understand that the plant is struggling. And what was beautiful is the people who came to buy it were genuinely excited. They weren't just here for the pot. They were here because they wanted to see if they could make that plant thrive. And I'm very excited to see if that happens. But it is okay for these items of yours that you love, that you want to go to a good home. It's okay to phrase things like that. It's okay to be transparent and say, this dresser was my great grandmother's and it's very sentimental to me and it's in good shape other than one leg that's broken. Looking for someone who might want to, buy this for $30 and fix it and continue its life. Right? How beautiful is that? Don't you want to buy that piece? Like if you're someone who is a little bit handy, that sounds so magical. And so in what you're doing by being transparent and selling it or putting it out there or listing it in a way that is really descriptive of what's going on behind the scenes, what it means to you is you are aligning with the right person to buy it. And that's what we want. With these items that are high value to us, we want to make sure that we are doing the things that align it with the right home. Now, what I will say is this is important. But when everything is important, nothing is important. And so if you are taking this kind of care for everything that you own, it's going to take you a million years to get through the items that you want to release in your life. My recommendation is have a category or two of items that you are willing to work a little extra for to make sure that they go to the right home. Allow yourself to grieve and release the other things that are not in those categories. Because if you need that for every single book you own, for example, or every single plate in your kitchen, right? It's going to take you forever and you're going to stress yourself out so hard. So take time to say, okay, like I know for me, my plants are really important to me. They are my babies. I want them going to happy homes. And when I was selling my plants for this upcoming move, because I listed them and because I was transparent about what they mean to me, the most beautiful people were buying them. I felt like I was selling some of them to younger versions of me. I was like, oh my God, it's like handing off to someone who is where I was 20 years ago. And am so excited for them to start their plant journey. And it was so beautiful because in this like 36 hours of selling these items, because they sold super fast, I feel like I made like 3 soulmates because we were connecting on this really deep level around something that we both cared about. And it made me feel so much better about releasing the things because I knew that they were going to happy homes. And then there's lots of other items that I'm not going to sell, that I'm not going to take the time to do that with, that I'm just going to donate, that I'm going to put in my car and haul off and just trust that they're going to find the right people. There are certain things that we just want to trust that they have their own life cycle, their own journey, and that they're going to find the right places for them. And then there's other things that we might anthropomorphize a little bit, we might feel a little bit more personal about, and we want to take the time to make sure that those find the right home. And selling can be a great way for making that happen because, again, when you sell an item, you are claiming to the universe, I feel this has value, and someone is meeting you there and saying, I agree. And it can feel so good to know that those things are leaving. So that's a circumstance where I feel like selling things can be really beneficial because it can give you the peace of mind of releasing the items from your life that feel sentimental or important to you without you feeling like you need to care for it for the rest of your life. Because you deserve to lighten your load. You deserve to share the things in your home with the rest of the world, with people who might need them more than you or who are in a chapter where that's a vital active chapter for them, and you can lighten the load so that it's easier to maintain your home, or it's easier to move, or you can take on new hobbies. It is so beautiful to release things from our lives so that we can take up space with what is true for us today, not what was true for us yesterday. Thanks so much for being here. It's always so lovely to have you here. Throw in the comments below if there's something that you want to sell because it's so meaningful to you. For more tips, organizing tricks, and insights, subscribe below. Thanks so much for being here.